Katie Hopkins is arguably the most controversial and universally disliked figure in British media. She's described as a full-time troll and the ultimate Karen.
I've made men cry, John, so be afraid.
She's loved by some, but hated by others. So how did Katie Hopkins become the most hated woman in Britain?
You're such an insufferable snob.
Epileptics are all weirdos. They're up there with the Asians. I don't like geographical location names. The list of things we can't say is now longer than the list of things we can. And I can't stand that. Feminists can go and do one. I'd rather be known as the biggest bitch in Britain, frankly.
February 13th, 1975, in Barnstaple, England. Katie Hopkins was born to her electrical engineer father and bank teller mother. She attended private school from the age of 3 to 16. As a child, she allegedly believed she was going to be the colonel of the forces. She stated that she loved the military, discipline, and the rigour of big, shouty men. This love for the military would influence her life as she studied economics at the University of Exeter, receiving sponsorship from the British Army's Intelligence Corps. She completed her military training at the Royal Military Academy in Sandhurst. However, during her passing out ceremony, she ironically suffered an epileptic fit, meaning she couldn't take up her commission. Katie stated that she kept her epilepsy a secret, as it would have prevented her from getting commissioned. Later on in life, she would undergo surgery to remove a portion of her brain to alleviate the severity of her condition. As a result of not taking up her commission, she joined a business consultancy and moved to New York for a short period before returning to the UK in 2005. In September 2006, she got a new job working for the Met Office as a global brand consultant. Hopkins would take her first steps in the media as a contestant on the third series of the reality TV show The Apprentice in 2007. She took unpaid leave from her job at the Met Office in order to take part in the show, where she was competing for the chance of a £100,000 a year job working for Alan Sugar. In the semi-final of the show, she rejected Alan's offer of a place in the final due to being unable to find childcare for her daughters. Though she didn't win the competition, she gained notoriety for her blunt and often confrontational personality. Alongside her controversial opinions directed at fellow contestants, she describes herself as a conduit for truth and saying what other people think but are too scared to say. In June 2007, after The Apprentice, Katie was photographed naked getting f***ed in a field. The next day, reporters knocked on Katie's door to tell her that the photo was going to be splashed across newspapers up and down the country the following day. As a result of finding out this information, Katie had to tell her boss at the Met Office what was about to happen, which then resulted in her losing her job. To make it worse, the guy in the picture was a married man and also worked for the Met Office.
She rates herself a 10 in 10 in the field of sex. We've got a picture of you. There you are in the field of sex. What's going on in that picture?
Yeah, that's me.
Do you know that was happening? Not the sex, the photograph.
I knew the next day when they knocked on the door.
Why were you embarrassed?
Well, because I had to ring my boss and tell him that was going to be on the front page.
You had to ring your boss. He said, "Hello, Lucifer."
So how did Katie go from a contestant on The Apprentice to the most hated woman in Britain? Well, after Philgate, she stepped into the public media full-time, from writing columns in newspapers to TV appearances on game shows. Most notably, I'm a Celebrity and Big Brother. It was through these TV shows that she was given a platform to express her views, which 90% of the time was controversial opinions on a wide variety of topics. Some people have described her as a professional troll, and that she'll just about say anything to get the attention swung in her direction. This thirst for attention often left Katie humiliated throughout her career. A perfect example of this is from her appearances on This Morning throughout the years, most notably her debates. One of her most iconic debates was arguing that you should judge children based on their name, so essentially your child doesn't have to mix with a lower class of children.
Well, as I said, I don't judge people on their surnames, but certainly I do make a very quick decision based on their first names. And there's a whole bunch of first names that I don't like. I don't like footballers' names. I don't like names after seasons of the year. I don't like geographical location names, celebrity names, things like Apple, things like, you know, Tilly Fizz or Jolly Apple, whatever they've decided to call their crazy.
Poppy.
My child's called Poppy.
Yes.
It's a flower.
Well, it's a flower.
A geographical seasonal.
No.
They're not much Latin.
Poppy's quite
You should
jolly.
call it to the Latin name for Poppy. That would have been really posh.
Interestingly, though, other people have criticised me for calling her Poppy because they say Poppy's a naughty name.
So
parents do criticise
what about
each
geographic
other.
stuff?
Geographic. Oh, so Brooklyn or London.
Your child's called India.
Yes, but you know, that's because it's not related to a location. That's because it's
India
related
isn't
to
a location?
family. No.
We're talking about education?
Indy's a very, very lovely name for a very lovely child.
I think Katie was on gas and air when she chose those names.
Throughout Katie's career, she has fat-shamed journalists, calling obese people lazy, and that you should never hire overweight people. She was so determined to prove her point that in 2014, Katie declared war on fat people. She took part in a 2-part documentary series where she gained and lost 50 pounds of weight to prove that obese people can diet successfully. As the show was released, she did the rounds on TV shows to promote the documentary. However, it largely ended in her getting embarrassed.
You're doing a documentary, aren't you, about putting weight on?
Yeah, so I put on 4 stone to prove that, you know, you're not lucky to be skinny.
When you're going to lose it?
If you eat too...
That's why people think you're a bastard.
I think we've got a picture of you. There you are. Oh, that's you now. Why are you doing it?
To prove that skinny people aren't lucky to be skinny, they just move around a lot, and that fat people are, in fact, lazy.
But what about people's different metabolisms?
Exactly.
People have excuses all over the place, like, I've got big bones.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
Yeah, but people have different metabolisms, that's what I'm saying.
Well, if your metabolism is really slow,
Yeah.
then maybe you need to shove less in this end so that you don't get fat.
Do you not lose loads and loads of weight because most of your shit comes out the front?
While the core message of Katie's point is true, that you should try to live a healthier lifestyle, she delivered her message by being a In 2015, Katie was given her own TV show titled If Katie Hopkins Ruled the World. Yeah. As expected, no one watched, and the show got cancelled after 7 episodes. I don't really know what they were thinking with that one, because the only reason people watch her is to watch other people tell her how wrong she is, and that gets boring quickly. On the 18th of May 2015, Katie tweeted at food writer and poverty activist Jack Monroe. Scrawled on any memorials recently, vandalised the memory of those who fought for your freedom, grandma got any more medals? Which was incredibly fucking stupid, as she confused Jack with a different campaigner. She didn't even at the right person. Jack replied to the tweet stating, "Dear at Katie Hopkins, public apology plus 5k to the migrant rescue and I won't sue. It will be cheaper for you and very satisfying for me." Despite the response, Katie refused to apologise, resulting in Jack consulting a legal team and filing a defamation complaint against her. The court case ended in March 2017, which resulted in Katie being ordered to pay a legal bill of £107,000 within 28 days. However, with lucrative work from the Daily Mail drying up and losing her job at LBC, she was struggling with her finances. As a result of this, she was forced to put a £1 million house on the market. After the court case, Jack wrote a statement on Twitter stating, "I can confirm today that following that landmark libel case, Katie Hopkins has entered into an IVA to avoid bankruptcy. I knew for a while, but I could not say anything for legal reasons." The arbitrary defender of free speech didn't want anyone to know, ironically. "I have been paid in full, but many of her creditors, including my lawyer, will not be paid for what they are owed. For the want of an apology, a house, a job, a column, a radio show, and now financial solvency were lost. It's all very sad, actually." This wouldn't be the last time that Katie would face legal trouble though. In December 2016, the Daily Mail had to retract 2 columns, in which Katie Hopkins went after one of her favourite targets, Islam. She alleged that a British Muslim family, barred from flying to the United States, had ties to Al-Qaeda. The claim was false, resulting in the Mail Online apologising and paying them £150,000 in libel damages.
Good evening, everyone. We're coming on the air because there has been a deadly incident at an arena in Manchester, England, where pop star Ariana Grande was holding a concert. There are reports of explosions, and at this hour, multiple law enforcement officials tell NBC News there are at least 20 people.
I don't know where she is.
We'll all go to bed, holding our little ones even tighter this evening.
On the morning following the 2017 Manchester Arena bombing at an Ariana Grande concert, Katie tweeted, "22 dead, number rising, Schofield, don't you even dare. Do not be part of the problem. We need a final solution." Final solution was a term that the Nazis notoriously used for the Holocaust. Katie quickly deleted the tweet and replaced it with an edited version that read, "We need a true solution." The journalist Nick Cohen tweeted, "Even if Hopkins knows nothing of Nazism, which I doubt, her final solution can only mean ethnic cleansing." Days later, she was interviewed by Tucker Carlson on Fox News about the situation.
I used the word final solution in a tweet, and I would not in any way want to use that term and the inference other people lay on that. What I meant was we need a lasting solution, a resolution to this.
The whole situation resulted in Katie getting fired from her phone-in radio show that she hosted on a Sunday morning at LBC. The show would tackle everything from religion to politics. Her colleagues at LBC were so happy with Katie's dismissal that everyone allegedly broke into massive cheers and applause when the news dropped. The further she went in her career, she became more involved in politics, leaning heavily to the right. Between 2018 and 2020, she had numerous events happen to her, such as getting detained in South Africa for spreading racial hatred, sued by Finsbury Park Mosque, suspended from Twitter, and deported from Australia for deliberately breaking COVID lockdown restrictions while quarantined for Australia's version of Big Brother. There is honestly so much I could include in this video, citing every single time that Katie's been prejudiced or just plain wrong. However, on the 30th of January 2020, YouTuber Josh Peters put the final nail in the coffin of Katie's reputation. The video uploaded to his channel was titled, "I flew Katie Hopkins to Prague to win a fake award." The fake award in question was the Campaign to Unify the Nation trophy.
That the recipient for the 2020 Campaign to Unify the Nation trophy is Katie Hopkins.
And as Katie came up to collect her fake award, we had one more surprise in store. You might wonder if this is a bit mean. For a moment I did too. But then she made her speech and told us what she really thought.
This is by far the most fun I've had in a very long time. I am not used to receiving awards. It is strange, and it's strange to hear nice things being said about yourself. You sit there and you think, wait a minute, they're saying that about me. Whereas normally it is a kind of an incoming deluge of fireballs coming my way. So it's kind of an odd thing for that to be tipped on its head, but I really do appreciate it. If you call Mohammed in a school playground in the UK, 2,000 kids come running and you don't want any of them. Epileptics are all weirdos. They're up there with the Asians. East London's fairly shitty in the best of times. 82% Muslim, what can I say? Most people are raping their own mother. I guess Muslims are different. So she, I believe her name was...
Today, Katie is now an official member of the UKIP party and uses her YouTube channel to aid her political aspirations. Alongside this, she does live shows where she weirdly attempts a hybrid between stand-up comedy and political commentary. Regardless of looking like every single person who was ever asked to speak to the manager mushed together, Katie plays the villain in every sense of the word. She says whatever she thinks will be the most controversial thing to say in order to get attention. It's the oldest play in the playbook, but it works. It's timeless. If you make people angry enough, they can't help but talk about you. With anything in life, there's a fine line between being honest and being disrespectful. And unfortunately for Katie, she doesn't have a filter. And like a lot of people and politicians who come from privileged backgrounds, they try to impose rules and hate on things they have no understanding or world experience of. Thank you so much for watching this video and your support recently. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @PhatMemer, like, subscribe, and comment below what you want to see next.